we've got Aizen. We can check him off. Gin and Rangiku are releasing in a couple of days' time, which is crazy to say, but here we are. So with all that being said, we know what Gin is capable of. We know the route that they're taking him. We have his full kit. If changes are made, I suspect it won't be anything too drastic. So in terms of what we know about this man, I think we've got the core foundation of this unit down. Rangiku, on the other hand, we know that she's going to be a support. We know she's further supporting the thrust element. She's going to be the first support for the thrust element, and we're still waiting on that full kit. Well, we're going to take a look at that right now and see what this beautiful specimen of a character will be doing for the thrust element as a whole. Also, I'm just going to throw this in here to anyone who hasn't seen it, or if you guys don't know, when the developers were doing a video showcasing Aizen, you can see my boy Gin up there to further confirm that thrust is 100% going to be the next element that's going to be getting elevated. Okay, so let's have a look what we're working with here. So we'll take a look at the basic skill. So basic skill, Rangiku use Hanako to attack the enemy in front of her 5 times during the damage. She'll do, I believe it's at level 1 percentage, by the way, skill, so that's 40% of her attack. And the last hit will inflict 1 stack of Mark of Hanako towards the enemy upon impact. Okay, technique. Rangiku transforms her swords into ash, creating an area of effect that pulls nearby enemies in dealing damage equal to 107 of her attack and inflicting 2 additional stacks of her Hanako mark. Okay. Channeled attack. Hold the technique button to activate the... to activate. Okay. So it's basically a branch attack. The longer you hold the button, the longer the technique lasts, and the greater the damage dealt, up to 162 of her attack. Also inflicting 3 additional stacks of Hanako mark. And now I'm gonna keep it real. It really depends on that Hanako mark, because again, the additional damage at play here. I mean, for an Aizen rotation play, that's not too bad in terms of holding out on seconds. I guess once you've utilized Gin, let's say that, and then let's say there's like I don't know, a couple of seconds that you need to hold off. In that mark, okay, fair play, you know. But I do want to know what the Hanako mark is. Okay, so that's the technique. Ultimate, Rangiku spins Hanako rapidly to create a massive tornado that pulls the enemies in a wide area, dealing damage equal to 300% of her attack, and inflicts her 4 stacks of Hanako mark on the hit enemy. After activating the ability, Ultimate will deal 8% increased thrust damage for 20 seconds. So we know that this can go up to 17.2 or 0.5 at level 13. Yes, if I can remember correctly. So that's level 1, by the way, 8% right there. So that's kind of what we're starting off with. Yep, counter attack will once again apply 3 stacks. So she's basically got the Hanako mark being applied on everything that she everything that she does. Okay, so that's something to note. So the passives, Hanako's assistance. Okay, when a teammate hits an enemy with their special attack or technique, they generate multiple ash blades based on the number of enemies affected by a mark of Hanako. Upon impact, each ash blade deals damage equal to 80% of the attack of the character on the field and consumes 1 stack of mark of Hanako. Ah, okay, I see now. And then on top of that, all teammates receive 10% less damage, so some survivability being applied here, not just damage increasing. Okay, interesting to see. But it all makes sense now. So with the Mark of Hanako, it's just, in a way, it's kind of in a similar fashion of like a tamed version of Gin in terms of his impale, right? Because of course, once we apply 100 of those impales, then that equates to additional damage of was it 400% of Gin's attack. So in a way, this is kind of like a watered down, in a way, as you could say. So okay, that's something to note. So it seems that in the gameplay video that we saw yesterday's video, those ashes of blades being thrown, I think those were Rangiku's attack, right? It has to be. Okay, and then going over to the additional passives now. So by holding down the technique button at full speed, 3 additional stacks of Mark of Hanako are inflicted on the enemy. Okay, so basically we want to get a ton of stacks of Mark of Hanako towards the enemy. Like, I suspect that there's not going to be like a threshold, and so realistically, looking at the amount that we can stack up, we want to stack as much as we can, so that way when we've got Gin coming in, or when we've got Aizen coming in, or whoever's coming in to do damage, every hit that they apply towards the enemy will basically add on additional damage through the mark of Heineken debuff towards the enemy, right? So that's what I'm getting at right now. And then lastly, increases damage from ash leaves by 28%. Okay, so interesting. So yeah, I don't know how I feel about this Rangiku, to be honest. I mean, she is a full-on thrust mono support. That's something that is just kind of fully being catered to. Although her, I think it's the second dupe. Yes, the passive Heineken's assist grants teammates 20% of Rangiku. I guess that's kind of universal, but for everything else that she's pushing out in terms of supportive vibe, it's more so on towards the thrust element, right? But interesting to see. So yeah, she's a bit of a watered down Gin, but that additional damage could be something good. You know, especially once we see, because again, everything that we're seeing right now is on base percentage, level 1 that is. So I'm eager to see on where she ends up as, because honestly, having her, Gin, and Aizen together, that we could see some crazy numbers being achieved, and the additional damage at play right now is looking pretty disgusting on paper, that is. Yeah, I think the dupe, the range of the techniques increased. Each time Ash Blade hits an enemy, subsequent Ash Blade attacks will increase damage by 5. I mean, I see the vision for that now, so duping her out won't be a bad idea, to be honest. Obviously, we want to at least get to the second dupe. That's going to be a requirement. But obviously, keep in mind, for anyone who doesn't know, SR characters do get carried over. So, with Aizen's banner, with Toshiro's banner, Momo came along. With Aizen's banner, Momo was in that banner. So if anyone isn't, if you're not going for Gin and you're interested in Rangiku and you're going to be summoning on future characters, she will be in those future banners. Just want to clarify that. So, okay, interesting. Alright, so, and again, just a quick little reminder, just want to kind of make sure that we're getting everything down. So the ultimate charge is going up through the stamp card, increases Rangiku's ultimate damage, and obviously there's that 4 stack. So it's crucial now on us having to apply a ton of these, because it all makes sense now. So the additional damage at play is pretty hefty if you're able to kind of utilize Rangiku as a whole. Weapon card, each time an enemy is hit by Ash Blades, the thrust damage the enemy receives increases. So we need the weapon card to furthermore support the thrust element. Release Rangiku's technique to change character immediately, but Rangiku will remain on the field, channeling until the effect reaches its peak. Wait a minute, so in terms of that second, in terms of her technique, this part right here, does it make it so that this then makes her a switchable whilst committing to the skill? That's what I'm reading. I just realized Rangiku will be given out for free. I always forget about that. Yeah, because of course Momo was given out completely for free in Toshiro's release. So it seems that with SR characters, we will at the very most get the full kit for that character. In terms of going furthermore on in getting dupes and whatnot, one that requires summons, as well as getting lucky in the corridor mode itself. So yeah, you guys know the drill on kind of duping this unit out. But I mean, duping out, the percentage goes up. To be fair, I would want to dupe out more on the weapon card, because again, that's supporting to do more damage in Gin's perspective, or Ikkaku or Tozen, of course. So that's something that, you know, we want to kind of focus on. And getting character dupes, again, I mean, that's kind of self-explanatory. At least getting 2 dupes into her is a requirement. So all in all, 3 copies. First copy is given out for free as per usual. 2 other copies if you are summoning for Gin, and there you go. Unless you summon at a later time, then that's something to look forward to. So that is, yeah, that's Rangiku in a nutshell. Interesting. Didn't expect to go that direction. I really thought it was just going to be like a full-on support in terms of the mark that she applies basically further caters to applying more damage towards the enemy, like them taking more. Yeah, wasn't expecting like a mini-Gin. Wasn't expecting that. And she's got, was it the damage reduction? The all teammates receive 10% less damage reduction? That came out of the blue. Some survivability for the whole squad. I mean, I won't complain, I'll take it, but yeah, bit of an out of the blue one. I wish they would have actually also added in also received like a 5% healing. if they did that, then that'd be pretty crazy, if anything, for survivability. But so yeah, that is the free Rangiku that we will get. That's a full kit.